Welcome back to the Talking Reef podcast. This is actually one of the first video shows we've done in some time. What I'm going to be showing you today is some more coral fragging, as I'm sure you can tell by the title of this show. Now, what we're going to do this show is I'm going to do some fragging of some colt coral. I've done some fragging shows in the past, and it's been quite some time, and I know some people like those, so we're going to do some more. Now, a couple weeks back, I had already done most of the fragging of this specific mother colony or parent colony. And I had taken care of most of it, and I've already got those frags aside, and I'll show you those in a bit. But what I did is I saved some of it to do a little bit later because I wanted to capture on a video. Now, as I show this to you, it'll kind of all make sense. But that's the story for this show. So we're going to go ahead and take a minute, and I'm going to take you over and show you the parent colony in that tank. And then I'm going to come back here and start with some of the supplies we're going to use, and so on and so forth. So actually, let's start with the supplies now because I've got them here. So the first thing we're going to use is I've got just a regular white container. You can use whatever you want. The point of this is to hold the coral in. This one is, it's a soft coral, so you can't really keep it out of water as long as you could a stony coral or something. So we're going to use a container. We're going to have tank water in there. The next thing I use is I got a small pair of scissors. Now these are real sharp, real small. They're great for getting inside little places and getting stuff cut, and it's a really good thing, a good pair to have. You can use bigger scissors if you want, but I like those better. We're going to use some rubber bands, and last but not least, I need something to put them on. So I've got my box of Marco's rocks, and no, this is not a paid endorsement. I got them. I really like them. Here we go. This is a box of the frag rocks. And we'll just take some of the small pieces, and those are great for frag mounts. Some other things you can use, there's small little frag plugs that look like this. They sit perfect in egg crate. If you've got an egg crate frame, these will sit in there perfectly in the tank. Some other things that I've used in the past are little water picks. These are the things that the flowers, if you go to the flower store, you can get little flowers in these. And these also fit right in there. You get some of the thinner ones like this one, it'll go all the way down. So those are some of the options. We've got the scissors, the mounts, the rubber bands, the container to hold the water in, and that's pretty much it. So let's go see the mother colony and we'll get started there. Okay, this is pretty simple. This is the tank that it's coming out of. This is my clownfish breeding tank. You can see I got some eggs sitting over there. Probably won't keep that clutch. Anyways, off topic. Here's the colt coral. As you can see, it's pretty decent size. It's sitting on a little rock back there. Very small rock, so it's easily removed, so I can take it out and do fragging. Get a good look at that. So that's that. I'm going to go ahead and take this out. I'm going to take that off video because I think it's pretty self-explanatory, and I don't think you need to make the file size of this video any bigger. So I will meet you back in there and we'll get started any bigger. So I will meet you back in. We got the coral ready to go. I'm going to go ahead and move the camera around a little bit, and we're going to go ahead and get started. So let's take a look down here. Okay, that's where we're going to work at. We'll zoom in a little bit for you. Okay, so we see it. Well, it's pretty self-explanatory. I picked up some water and pulled the coral out. So we're going to zoom in a little bit so you guys can see better. Probably should have figured this out before I started recording, but that's okay. A little bit so you guys can see better. Okay, there we go. Had some bad glare from the metal halide, so I had to move things around a little bit. But anyways, let's go ahead and get this started. Now the first thing we're going to do is we need to take a look at it and figure out where we're going to cut this. So let's take a look. And I'm thinking we got a good spot right here. This little nub's what we're going to cut off. Let's get this down here where the camera can see. We've got the little nub there. I'm just going to go in. I think you can see that. Should be good. How? We cut it off. There's a little piece right there. Next part is we're going to take our rock. And we're going to go ahead and mount that onto our rock. Now this is the easy part, usually. We're going to take this, we're going to put the end that was cut, that's going to go down right onto the surface there. The best thing that I found to do with these is if you can find a spot where it splits open like a Y, kind of like that, we're going to put the rubber band right over that spot. So we're going to grab the rubber band and we're going to go ahead and wrap it right through the middle. Now the key here is you don't want to do it tight, okay? You just want the rubber band on there enough to hold it down. So what I do is I'll hold it with both of my fingers where the point where it's tight. So now right now it's tight, but I don't know if you can really tell, but it's not stretched out. It's just tight enough to hold the little frag piece on there. So you tighten up just where you need to be, and then I'll wrap it around a different part of the rock. We'll give it a couple loops around here. So it's wrapped around here. Now what that does is that's going to keep the rubber band on there. It's going to keep the rubber band tight, but it's not pushing down too hard on the frag. What happens is if you push too tight on that, it'll literally cut it right in half, and then the frag's going to fall off and it might even die. So that's pretty much it there. This is done and it's going to go into my frag tank with the rest of them. Now let's take a look and see what we do when the frag that's all done. Okay, what I got here is a frag that's all done. This one's the one that I did about a week or so ago. I'd say about that time frame ago. This is, it's attached pretty good. It should be enough for us to show what's going on. As you can see, I had a split in it also. Did the same thing. Now when you take these rubber bands off, they're gonna, the coral actually grows on it. So you need to be real careful when you're taking it off. You want to just kind of slowly, got some little amphipods running around on there, flipping in. Okay, so just kind of want to slowly work it out of there. Now, I should probably tell you this now. What happens sometimes if you wait too long, this point, the point here where the rubber band is, sometimes this coral will seal itself back up around there and it'll grow around it completely. When that happens, what I do is I just cut the rubber band here and then I'll pull it out the back. That usually works pretty good, but in this case I should be able to just pull it right off without pulling the frag off too. Yep, there we go. A little pull and that's all we need. Now if we look, it's on there. You probably can't tell very good, but it has grown on there decent. So we're going to go ahead and throw this back in the tank and let it grow up nice and big. Okay, so we're about done now. Let's go ahead and recap what we had. We took a Colt coral out of the tank in a container, holding container. We found a good spot where there's a nice sized nub. Again, you want a point where you got a little V in there so you can put the rubber band around it and a little bit of a base. Cut that off. We're going to place it on a rock, the frag stand, frag mount, or whatever. In this case, rocks are really the best because they're large enough you can get the rubber band around there. The problem with the frag mounts that I showed you, I'll show you real quick here. If we use something like this, you actually have to put the rubber band over top of it. And then in order to keep it from going real tight, you kind of have to wrap it around the base a lot, and it gets a little bit to be kind of a pain in the butt. So I don't usually use these with those types of frags. But the rocks work really good. You don't have to use the Marco's rocks, obviously. I bought them. I like them. There's, it's a big box and you get a lot of frags, a lot of frag rocks. But you can use this reef rubble from your local fish store from your tank. You're going to mount it on there. You're going to let it sit in the tank for anywhere from 1 week to 2 weeks. When you take it out, before you take the rubber band off, what you want to look for is the base of the Colt coral or the frag, and this really applies to a lot of soft corals just in general. But you want to make sure that it's attached. Now once you see that it's attached, you might even want to wait a couple more days because it needs to be attached good, because when you pull that rubber band off, it's going to pull on the frag because the frag is going to grow to the rubber band too. So you can go ahead and, you know, a little tug and it comes off, but you want to make sure the frag's on there secure. At that point, you just go ahead and throw it in your tank, and you're pretty much ready to go. And that's about it. So that's going to wrap up this little video for you. If you have any questions, or if you want to see any other corals fragged, I've got some more than I'm going to do. But if you want to see one specifically, and I have the coral and I can do it, then let me know, and I'll go ahead and get that done for you. But until then, my name is Rob Weatherly, and this is Talking Reef Podcast. We'll talk to you. My name is Rob Weatherly, and this is Talking Reef.